Hey everybody, this is Ian Floyd with the Love and Sensibility Podcast. You know, when I want to get inspired to take action, this is exactly where I come to my girl, Ioana Garrett, on the Success Stalkers radio show.
You're listening to Success Stalkers Radio, episode 21 with Todd Ross. Welcome to Success Stalkers Radio. I am your host, Ioana Garrett. People all over the globe are rewriting the rules to success. They're making money and changing the world. Join me Monday through Friday as I interview today's top entrepreneurs, business leaders, and entertainers that will leave you inspired to take action and achieve success on purpose. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, Success Stalkers, let's get started. I am your host, Ioana Garrett, and this is another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. I am simply thrilled today to introduce my guest, Todd Ross. So, Todd, are you ready to stalk some success today?
I am very ready.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, Todd Ross is the founder and CEO of Ross Group Consulting, a firm that develops the trainer and trainer function. He is also the founder of Trainerwear by Todd. He is the former director of training and quality for MCI WorldCom. In that time, he was creating training modules and leadership development courses for all levels of management, and on occasion, acted as a consultant for neighboring companies, schools, and churches. It was at that time that Ross Group Consulting, LLC, was formed, and Todd Ross's first book, Stellar Performance, was written. Prior to any chapter being added to his book, Todd implemented and tested the effectiveness and efficiency of each process, every application, and all theories. So, Todd, I've given our listeners just a little overview. So I want you to take a minute and tell us about you personally, because we want to get to know you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be a part of Success Stalkers and, to finally be on this side of the radio. I'm just really, really honored. So thank you very, very much. Me personally, I'll fill in some things that was not my bio, that I served in the United States military. I flew Black Hawk helicopters for 5 years and served in Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm. And I have a daughter down in Miami, Florida, 23 years old. And, born and raised in Queens, New York.
Love it. Wow, New York.
New York. That's right. Name is twice. So we don't forget.
Yes, indeed. How did you like growing up in New York?
I loved it. It was a lot to do, a lot of trouble for a young man like myself to get into, and trust me, I tried to get into every bit of it that I could. In 1989, I left New York and went into the military, and that's when I started to get my feet under me and started to grow up a little bit.
Nice. I love New York. I got to get back out there again.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, you do. There's a lot of pizza and I got a chance to go to Ground Zero, which that was so exciting.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay.
Even for us native New Yorkers, there's a lot to see that we just don't get a chance to take notice of. And my last trip, I got a chance to actually be a tourist, so I enjoyed that.
That's good. Well, the last time I was there was business side. I was only there for like 2.5 days, so didn't get a chance to see much. But the next time I go, it'll be all vacation.
That's right.
Yes,
right.
Definitely. Well, Todd, we're going to dive way into your journey a little later in this interview. But before we do, we always like to start off at Success Stalkers Radio with a success quote to really get the motivational ball rolling. So take it away.
My favorite success quote is "Go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is." We like to hug close to the main branch or to the trunk of the tree because it's safe, it's solid, but there's no fruit there. And you're going to have to take a risk on going out on the limb. The branch might bend, it might snap, you might fall down a couple of feet. But if you want the really juicy, tasty fruit, you've got to go out on that limb.
That is so true. Great analogy. I love that. Well, also here at Success Talkers Radio, Todd, we are all about our guests' journey, their story. And I
Hmm.
know that you had quite an amazing journey, but we want to focus first and foremost on a failure or maybe a challenge, a time in your life where maybe you could have fallen flat on your face or just, had a really bad challenge, that you had to deal with. And I want you to share it with us. And remember, we like stories, so take us there with you and then share a lesson from that story.
I don't know. My biggest challenge has had to be when I found out that I had a bad heart. Well, I'm going to use the past tense, had a bad heart. Back in 2004, I was working for Dell. I was really at the height of my career. I was the vice president of training and quality development for Dell. And in the middle of a global initiative, found out that my heart was very, very, very bad. And my cardiologist said, "Look, you're a New Yorker, so I'm going to give it to you straight. Your heart is very bad." He said, "Take a piece of paper towel and run it underwater. That's how strong your heart is." And he says, "I'm going to be honest. If I see you this time next year, I'll be very, very shocked." I said,
Wow.
"So we'll give you some medicine, and we'll give you a pacemaker, and if it adds a couple of more days to your life, that's fine, but it's pretty much over for you." That was in 2004. And that really took me back because, I thought about all the partying I did when I was young, how I didn't heed the words of my doctors when they told me to slow down. And I just, thinking that the wages of sin is death, and, now it's time for me to pay the piper. And it took me down for a couple of years, but I said, why am I going out, whimpering and feeling sorry for myself? You're going to go out fighting. And so I got back up on my horse and started running again.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad your doctor was wrong.
I'm sorry?
I'm glad your doctor was wrong.
I am so glad that my doctor was wrong because God has work for me to do, and I need to be healthy and active so I can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was like, what, 10 years ago?
That was in 2004.
Wow. Amazing. God is so awesome. Here at Success Talkers Radio, we love talking about aha moments and light bulb moments. So we want to talk about that for just a moment because I know you've had some lessons that you've learned from possible failures from the past, of course, whether it's personally or in business. And I know you've also had some amazing ideas that have helped you become successful. So tell us one, if you can. And remember, this is a story. We want you to take us there with you so we can feel like we're right there alongside of you when you had that aha moment. And show us how you turn it into success.
My biggest aha moment, and if I could share this, it was the aha moment of my life. I was a rookie trainer for MCI back in the 90s, and I was living in Virginia at the time, and I had to go to upstate New York to train in a very, very poor section of Buffalo.
Okay.
This section was so poor that when we hired our new hire classes, on the very first day, 373 people applied, 373 people showed for the first day of class. 373 graduated. That's how poor this area was, how desperate they were for jobs. Well, this was I wanted to do a good job. I was being trusted to be away from the main house and, to go out to the masses. And I wanted to do a great job. So I really put my heart and soul into this class and, really not just gave them information to sell long-distance services, but also to be successful in life, how to keep a positive attitude, how to, prioritize, and all that good stuff that comes along with just being a better you. Well, at the end of the class, and it's tradition in corporate training classes that at the end, the group wants to give the trainer a gift. And sometimes they'll take him or her out to dinner. Sometimes they'll purchase, a bag or a wallet or something. Well, this area was so poor, these folks couldn't afford that. So they just bought in things from their homes, from their lives. Their older brother played professional football at one point, so they gave me their rookie football card, which I thought was pretty cool. And somebody else's family owned a restaurant, and although it wasn't doing a lot of business, come on down and get a free meal. This one young lady in my class had gotten pregnant on her prom night a few years earlier and struggled through life. trying to make ends meet. And she said that because of the training that I gave her, she was not going to need the system, welfare, Medicaid, anymore, and gave me her very last $1 food stamp. And I carry that food stamp with me today.
Wow. That is absolutely remarkable.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
It just
so
let me know
powerful.
that was him telling me, this is what I want you to do. Now, understand what I took away from that. It wasn't that you should be a trainer. It was every class, I need to give that extra. So if you hire me to train success stalking to a group of people, that's fine. But I need to add that gift that God has given me to put on top of that, because I want your people to super achieve. I don't want them just walking away knowing A, B, and C. I want them to know A, B, and C, and then I want to put a D, E, F on it as well.
Absolutely. It's all about providing that value, and that's exactly what you did, and
Yeah.
changing lives, because her life will forever be changed because of your
Yeah.
training. That is just absolutely powerful. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
My prayer is that one day I'm able to run into her, that she'll remember me or I'll remember her, and so she can see, because of that food stamp, what that has led me to do today.
Wow, I hope that you do too. That would be a powerful. If that ever happens, you got to let me know.
Oh, I
Oh
sure
wow,
will.
you got to let me
Once
know.
I
I would
stop,
love for you to
once
come
I
and tell
stop
that story.
crying.
Right, because I would love for you to come and share that story. Wow,
Yes,
that's powerful.
ma'am.
Well, what we want to do now, if you don't mind, we're going to shift the focus for just a minute, and because I want to, shine a spotlight on you, Todd, and I want you to share with us one of your proudest entrepreneurial moments.
I think the businesses that I've started, I think one of my proudest moments was when I successfully took what I learned in corporate America. And, now at that time I was a saved Christian, new to the faith. And I'm at a church in Youngstown, Ohio, and I'm able to say, this is what's worked in corporate America. Let me bring this to your church. And to get the feedback and the elation and, the success stories that the pastor was able to pass along, you really have transformed my church. You've helped my dream come true. I didn't know how it was going to come true, and you have brought these things to the church, and now I'm able to grow and able to focus on the message and faith and not putting out fires and following up with personalities and things like that. And I just think that was my proudest moment, because I said, God gave this to me. He put this in my mind and in my heart, and look how his blessing is coming back to him by church growth and expansion, and able to better receive the sinner and re-receive the backslider. That's the proudest moment of my life.
And it should be. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, you and I both as entrepreneurs, we know that it can be a roller coaster of emotions at times, right?
Sure can.
You can be up today, and within the next 24 hours, you can be down and just frustrated, ready to quit. So, I want you to, if you can, share with our audience. Tell us how you keep your focus on a daily basis. What do you do to keep that end result in mind?
Well, first of all, you said keep the end result in mind, and I'm a big believer in 7 habits of highly effective people. One of the habits is always begin with the end in mind. So you should begin your day with the end of your day in mind. Mm-hmm. What do I want to accomplish? Now, a lot of us, if we do that, we'll stop there and say, okay, well, I need to catch up on email, and I need to reach out to a couple of clients, and, that'll be my day. And then you'll find out the 10 hours you spent in front of your computer or in your office that particular day, you've only done 2 or 3 hours worth of real work. So what keeps me focused and keeps me going is just a written task list. Everything I want to accomplish has to be written down. And then what does completion look like? I want to reach out to clients. That's not specific enough. I need to reach out and touch 10 clients. Out of those 10 clients, I need at least 4 appointments. face-to-face, appointments, or I need a sale, or I need, something that's specific. So at the end of the day, you can measure how effective you were.
Right. Some results.
And let me can I just add this on there?
Yes, of course.
People will lead in the same fashion they're being led. So if you lead yourself in this fashion, guess what? You're going to lead your people in that same fashion. And now your people, it's easier to have them be accountable to their time in the office. Are you really being productive? If you're being accountable to yourself, they're going to be accountable to you. It'll be a lot easier.
Wow, that's a great takeaway right there. That's a golden nugget.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing that. That is great. Well, Todd, because I know that you are a success stalker, tell us some new projects that you may be working on. What's something that you're really excited about right now in your business?
First of all, I need everybody to know that I am a success stalker. Let there be no confusion there. I am a success stalker.
Love it.
I am most proud of the successful launch and now the growth of my product line. I decided that I've seen many, many professions walk around with T-shirts and sweatshirts and baseball caps with funny little sayings. I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a pilot, I'm a cop, whatever, I'm a firefighter. And I'm like, well, I'm a professional trainer. We should have some of these things too. So I created a line of shirts, designs that were specific to corporate training and leadership. Well, that led from T-shirts to sweatshirts to baseball caps to cups, and where it ended up is that now I have over 500 products, and I have over 20 different lines. So it's not just trainers, it's leadership, it's teachers. I have religious designs, I have sporting designs. It is amazing. And I named the company Trainerwear by Todd, and I'm actually going into two very uncharted waters for myself. I am currently launching a direct sales marketing force. I'm reaching out to interns, part-time workers, full-time workers to actually go from door to door, business to business, and offer these products to businesses. They're ordering these things anyway through some of our big box stores out there that sell office supplies. Why not bring that customer service and the product to them the way that they want it? And then number two, there's over 27 million home-based businesses in the United States. I'm launching call center operations sometime this year, and we're going to call these 27 million homes and offer them Trainerwear by Todd. So they don't have to go out and get it. We're going to bring it right to them.
I love that. Wow. Oh, you're going to do excellent. You're going to do absolutely excellent with that. And, whatever we can do to help spread your message, we will. And I'm glad to know that you do that because I can definitely benefit from your service.
Absolutely. From car magnets to tents to water to bubble gum to toothbrushes, you name it, over 500 products. We can slap not only one of our designs on it, but we can put your personal logo, your brand on it, so you can really focus on brand distribution and brand recognition. If you own a boutique or a cleaners, how does your brand get out and about? Well, oh my God, I can't spend money at the newspaper. You don't have to. Instead of going down and buying a pack of Bic pens, come see me. I can sell you 2,000 pens for less than $75. And now when you lose a pen, that's your brand going out into the community. You know what I mean? Individually wrapped breath mints, with your brand on it. So when someone comes in, you put a few in their pocket, put a few in their purse, and then that goes out into the community. Not only when someone needs a mint, but when they drop it on the floor or leave it on the table, someone could, hey, look at that. Success stalkers right there on it. So it's about being creative. If you watch The Apprentice, it's about being creative and getting your brand out there. So.
Well, Todd, that's certainly creative.
That's right.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Todd, we have reached one of my favorite parts of the interview, which is called the success round. And, what this is a segment match of questions that, we ask because I believe that every entrepreneur wants to know these questions, the answers to these questions. So we're going to do a little boxing. We're going to go back and forth for a little bit. If that's okay.
I told you I can't fight.
Oh, well, I promise not to hit you too hard.
Okay.
All right. So what was it that held you back from becoming an entrepreneur before you got started?
Oh, goodness. I had the vision. I had the intelligence. I was afraid of failing. I didn't want to get started and it not work out. And of course that worked itself out. But I was afraid of failure. And then I was afraid. I didn't have the money. I didn't have $50,000, $100,000 to get started. But I said, you know what, just take what you got and do what you can. And it has worked out. And then recently I heard on Shark Tank from Mr. Mark Cuban. He says, we shouldn't start a business because we've got money. You should be starting a business so you can make money. And that just took me back to when I got started, and that was the mentality that I was in.
Wow, you are just dropping some golden nuggets. That is great. You're so right on when you say, just use what you have. Because, even with this radio show that, it's my brainchild, but I didn't have a lot of resources to start up this show, but I used what I had. I did my own research. I talked to people, I asked questions, and we got started. But in anything that you do, any business that I've ever started, I never had a lot of money to get started. But I used what I had. I took the advice of a very, very good friend that's a church member actually of mine, and he saw that I was kind of on the fence. Like he would ask me like, okay, so when are you opening? When are you getting started? And I kept making all these excuses, about not having enough money or not having this, not having that. And he's like, you know what? You're never going to do it. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm never going to do it? I got offended. And he's like, yeah, you're never going to do it. If you don't get started now, you're never going to do it. Just use what you have to get started. And I'm telling you, when I took that, it was like another aha moment. When he said that, it hit me like, you know what? Yes. Yeah, I'm just going to get started. And when I did that, it was major success.
Ain't that something? And I get so frustrated when people, they don't do anything. They're paralyzed. I can't do anything because I don't have money. I don't have information. It hasn't been fully explained. Would you get up and do something?
Right.
Do something. Listen, I just read in the Harvard Business Review this morning, if you want to increase your output, double your failure rate. This is a Harvard Business Review. Double your failure rate. And one of my company mottos that I tell all my people, fail harder. Fail more often. If you're not failing, that means you're not trying. Try not to lose me too much money, okay?
Right.
But fail. I need you to fail. I need you to mess up so we can come back, we can fix it, and we can go forward. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Absolutely. Because, failure is always going to be linked to success.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even care. I can't even piggyback on that.
I know. Wow. We can take another hour just talking about that. I know. There's a book out there called Failing Forward, and I'm telling you, that is a great book for people to read. Absolutely.
I highly suggest that, yes.
And so if you can tell me, what is one of the best business, I know you've gotten a lot of business advice, in the past, but what's the best business advice you've ever received?
A young man back in the 90s, and I was just a daisy fresh rookie trainer, taught me to chase relationships, not money. And, I trained this in all of my new hire classes back in the day, when I said, don't try to sell people. You're going up against AT&T, and they have 5 cents a minute, and at the time we were still selling 7 cents a minute. So obviously someone's not going to want to pay more money. So how do we get around that? Build a relationship with them. Talk about things that they're interested in. Let them trust you, and then people will pay more money because they trust you, as opposed to somebody else that just says, I have a lower price. Chase relationships, not the money. If you build a relationship, I promise you, each and every time, the money will follow. And I learned that from a great man. His name is Mr. Rodney Lawson. And we're still friends today, and I'm still learning from him today.
Wow, that's awesome. I just learned from him, too. That's great advice. Great. Don't chase the money, chase the relationships, and the money will come.
That's right.
That is a great
It's about
takeaway.
people. It's not about money. It's
absolutely, absolutely. Well, can you share one of you kind of touched on a lot of this already, but is there one other specific daily personal habit that you do on a daily basis that helps you, in your business?
I did mention writing things down, and I have to say, and this might sound a little weird, but I learned to listen. I get a ton of phone calls every day. I talk to people. We're in the customer service industry. Even if you're selling, it's customer service. If you're whatever. Listening. You have to be able to listen to people, because not only are you getting what they want or what they need or what they perceive they need, but also it helps you to identify areas in your own life or your professional abilities that you need to enhance and focus on making better. I can't let enough credence that, every day I say I have to increase my ability to listen and let the person that I'm listening to, they have to know that they're being listened to. It's like in a relationship when you're speaking to your spouse and, they're looking at you, but you're not listening to me. Well, that's because they're not letting you know. They're not making eye contact. They're not interacting with your conversation. And people have to know they're being listened to. And that opens up the doorways and gateways to so many other things.
Well, Todd, do you have an internet resource or a business tool that you can share with our listeners? I don't know what you maybe use some apps or something that that helps you run your business.
Yes, I do. I can't believe you answered that. This is a great question, because you know what? I think that if we're to be successful, we have to share the wealth. A really, really great woman that is kind of mentoring me. Her name is Danielle Winningham. She said, don't do anything unless you record it. And I didn't understand it at the time. But she goes, every phone call, every conference call, every presentation you do, record it. So I'm going to suggest to the success stalkers out there, they need to go to www.freeconferencecalling.com. And I'm not going to say another word. Go to www.freeconferencecalling.com. Everything you will ever need to conduct conference calling, reporting, managing your calls, the whole 9 yards is right there, and it is free of charge. Up to 1,000 callers. I'm just going to leave it there.
Wow, that is a great resource.
It really is.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Definitely going to use that. Okay.
My pleasure.
Well, what books are you, could you recommend, a book or two, could you recommend to our listeners? No, I know you have books yourself, so I definitely want you to mention those, but do you have any others too?
Yes, I do. There are two that have really changed and transformed my life. Number one, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by the late Dr. Stephen Covey. I can't stress the importance of that book in your life. If you're a business owner, if you interact with people, if you aspire to do anything besides sleep and brush your teeth, this book is essential. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then the other was the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. Changed my life. I teach leadership. I teach leadership in the church. You can't do this if you're not using that as a tool. And then, as you mentioned, my own book, Words of Encouragement for Teachers and Trainers, wonderful compilation of stories, poems, motivational quotes that center around educators and keeping yourself in a positive frame of mind as you transfer information. Now, understand, you don't have to have the official title of a teacher or a trainer. If you are a sales manager, guess what? You're transferring information. If you're the head of a sports team, guess what? You're transferring information. So we're all educators in some shape, form, or fashion. This book is great to keep you in a positive mindset.
It really is, and I want to thank you. I know I've said it before, but I want to personally thank you again for my copy. And signed copy at that. So thank you so much for that.
I was happy to get the picture of you holding it.
I know, right? But I love it, and it's just packed with such great information to help, leaders. So thank you for putting that together.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure. And the follow-up edition, Words of Encouragement for Teachers and Trainers, the sophomore edition, will be out later this year.
Okay. And how can our listeners purchase your books? Are they on your website?
They can get it from my website, Ross Group Consulting, LLC.com, or they can go to Amazon.com and look up Words of Encouragement, and they can get it right there.
Okay, great. Good deal. Well, what I would like for you to do, this is our last question, Todd. And for just a minute, I just want you to relax and just imagine that you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world, identical to Earth, but you knew no one. You still have all of the same experience and knowledge that you currently have today. Your food is taken care of, your shelter is taken care of, but you only have $500 and a laptop. What would you do in the next 7 days?
Wow. That's a good question. Let me say off the top of my head, if I am in a new world identical to Earth, but I have all the experience and knowledge I have, I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is find a place to worship. That's one of the few things I would say if I could go back in time and redo, I think I would get saved earlier in my life, because nothing's possible without God.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would find a place to worship. That's definite. Now that I've gotten that down, I'm going to have to get to meet people so I can start making some money and start growing my business. So I'm going to have to network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to network with folks and find ways. And I've only got $500. I'm going to have to find ways to do this inexpensively. But I've done it a smaller budget. So, and then I think so. I've networked. I found a church, and I think I'm going to have to find some ways to start selling immediately and make money. And that could also mean getting in touch with like investors and things of the like. But I'm going to have to start selling, so I'm going to have to find ways to start putting out my product immediately.
Okay. Probably going out networking, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Once you have God as your foundation, all you got to do is just start moving your feet.
True.
He's going to pick you up from there.
You're so right.
We want God to bless us, but we don't want to work. We don't want to move. We don't want to go out. God can't bless inactivity. Once you start moving your feet, even if you make a mistake, He loves us enough to put us back on track and take us where we are desiring to go. As long as we have a pure heart and a pure mind, He'll take us right there.
That's right. You are so right on. Well, Todd, I have just thoroughly enjoyed talking to you today, and we just appreciate you so much for taking your time to come spend some time with us on Success Talkers Radio today. But before we go and before we end, if you can, I want you to give our Success Talkers just one piece of guidance and advice, and then share the best way they can find you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. You know what? I would focus on focusing on just a couple of aspects of your business. I would prioritize what is going to be the most effective, the most impactful right now, and then I would break this down to an annual and a quarterly and then daily, one or two things that you can accomplish before I move on to the next. Because as entrepreneurs, we're creative, and we have a million things that we need to get birthed out of us. Mm-hmm. If we can just narrow that down to two or three things, two or three digestible chunks at a time, guess what? We're going to see success ongoing. We're going to see our business grow. People are going to see the success that we're having, and that will move them to feed into us and support us even more. So that would be the advice I would give them. And again, as getting in touch with me, I suggest the website. Everything that you can interact with me and talk to me and request of me and learn about me, Ross Group Consulting. That's Ross, my last name, Group as in group of people, Consulting, LLC.com. All of my other child companies are there. The book is there. Trainerware is there. And even MP3s from radio things that I've done before are there as well.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, Todd, I know our listeners have gotten some great takeaways and nuggets from you today. I know I certainly have. But they can also find the links to everything that we talked about today, and the things that we're chatting about will also be on our website at successtalkersradio.com/Todd Ross. So you will definitely have a show notes page there with the information that we talked about.
Thank you. I'm so honored. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome, and thank you again for being here. And for everyone out there listening, thank you for tuning in. And until our next episode, keep stalking success. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. If you'd like to hear more from these inspiring entrepreneurs and entertainers, be sure to subscribe to the Success Stalkers Radio podcast on iTunes. And if you found value in this episode, give us a review, hopefully 5 stars. You may also visit us at successstalkers.com. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.